Hello again. Just a reminder that the videos in this series reflect the IELTS level 6+. Now, to achieve success by the end of this series of videos, you should be able to use a minimum of 1,500 words, both written and spoken as conversational Australian English. This would deem you to be competent at a competent level IELTS level 6. Focus here must be on coherence and cohesion, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, fluency, pronunciation and response, and the use of varying levels of Australian English, slang, colloquial, informal and formal, as the situation and topics of the conversations dictate. In this video, we're going to be looking at greetings using both formal and informal language, but we're going to spend a lot of time on vocabulary usage, synonyms and antonyms. When speaking the English language, we can choose to use formal, informal, colloquial or slang words or phrases. The choice of this depends on the people involved in the conversation. For example, if speaking at a job interview, we would use a more formal level of language and vocabulary than is appropriate for the type of position we are applying for. Formal situation, for example, between a solicitor and a client. The receptionist might say, "Mr. or Mrs. Smith, this is Mr. or Mrs. Brown." The interviewer might say, "Good morning, Mr. or Mrs. Brown, please sit down." The interviewee would say, "Thank you." But in an informal situation, for example, between a person shopping and the shop assistant or a teacher and a student in a classroom, might sound like this. "Good morning, Peter and Sandra. How are you today?" Sandra, "I'm very well, thank you, miss." "I'm well, thanks, miss." Colloquial or slang usage situation, for example, between a parent and child or between close friends. Friends are Isabel and David. "How's it going?" "Great, thanks. All good with you?" Now we're going to talk about synonyms and antonyms. This is extending your vocabulary hugely. Synonyms are words that have a similar meaning, for example, happy and pleased. Antonyms are words that mean the opposite. For example, happy and sad, sad being the opposite of happy and vice versa. So this word abstraction. The synonyms: distraction, absent-minded, preoccupation, inattention. Examples of usage: some scientists are accused of being absent-minded, but actually they're highly likely simply focusing on a problem they're trying to resolve and only appear to be distracted. Now the antonym: focus, intensity, paying attention or concentrating. Example: the students were intently focused on everything the teacher said, as they all wanted to be successful in this assignment. Word is actually. Synonyms for actually: as a matter of fact, in reality, indeed, literally. For example, actually, I've made up my mind. I will join you on your holiday, and thanks again for asking me. Antonyms: no such thing, just simply omit it. That is, do not use it in your sentence. Examples: I've made up my mind. I will join you on your holiday, and thanks again for asking me. The word break. Synonyms are shatter, crack, split, snap, wrench apart or interrupt. Examples of usage: when he threw the rock at the window, it shattered the glass. It's not the first time that student has been seen to break windows in the school. Antonym: opposites: connect, join, bind or fasten. Example: the rock he threw didn't actually hit the window as it didn't connect. The word is come. Synonyms: approach, follow, reach, happen, occur. Example: come over here and pick up this rubbish, please. Antonyms: that's the opposite. Go, conceal, disappear, hide. Example: go and put the rubbish in the bin. The word is depart. Synonyms are leave, avoid, exit, withdraw, go away. Examples of usage: at the airport, the departure gates were closed as the plane was not ready to be boarded. The family knew they would leave soon. Antonyms: that's the opposite. Arrive, stay, continue, enter. Example of usage: at the airport, we waited for our friends at the area for arrivals. The word is determine. Synonyms: resolve or rule. The court case was resolved and the perpetrator was sentenced to 5 years in jail. The opposite, that's the antonyms: doubt, repress, prevent. Doubt was cast over the court case and the jury could not make a decision. The word is dubious. The synonyms are unsure, unconvinced, or questionable. Example: she'd never even achieved a pass mark, so her record 100% in that subject was dubious. Antonyms: honest, probable, likely. Example: she had studied and worked hard all year, so her marks were highly likely a result of that. The word is exemplify. Synonyms: demonstrate, depict, illustrate. Example: his behaviour exemplifies all that is bad in the political world. He is corrupt and no one has the courage to remove him. Antonyms, that's the opposite: conceal, distort, or hide. Example: he's able to distort all of the media reports and therefore gets away with his atrocious behaviour. Word expose. Synonyms: show, lay bare, unwrap, reveal. Example: in the sun, it is sensible to expose as little bare skin as possible to avoid getting burnt. Antonyms: hidden, blocked, closed, concealed. Example: if you wear a hat and sunscreen, you will block the UV rays from the sun and be able to prevent your skin from burning. Word is frighten. Synonyms: alarm, petrify, terrify, scare, startle. Examples of usage: the dog was startled by the burglar and barked loudly. This frightened them and they ran away quickly. Antonyms: assure, assist, calm, help, stimulate, make happy. Example: the dog was very calm while the family were at the shops. Word is great. Synonyms: good, fantastic, well done, held in high esteem, considerable, special. Example: she came top of the class and her parents congratulated her on the job well done. It was great to see the progress she had made. Antonyms: insignificant, unimportant. Example: he achieved that was one less than his usual result, but in reality it was insignificant. Word gesture. Synonyms: expression, indicate, indication, nod, or salute. Example: he couldn't speak because he was eating and his mouth was full, so he made a gesture instead that indicated they could enter the room. Antonyms: fail to show, fail to indicate, speak aloud. Example: he spoke loudly so that he could be heard by everyone in the room. Word is hard. Synonyms: adamant, concrete, steely, rigid, firm, solid, powerful. Example: the new concrete driveway is now hard enough to drive our cars on. Antonyms: soft, delicate, vulnerable, weak. Example: if the concrete has just been poured, it will be too soft to dry on until it is dry and hard. Word ingenious. Synonym: clever, bright, great idea, superb, inventive, creative. Example: what a brilliant way of making that work. You are absolutely ingenious. Well done. Antonyms: dull, foolish, stupid, unresourceful. Example: if you try to think about this challenge, you'll be more successful. By ignoring it and doing nothing, you are showing how foolish you are. Word judge. Synonyms: referee, decide, deem, pronounce, evaluate, conclude. Example: the volleyball teams had a great game and the referee judged them very fairly. Antonyms: overlook, depart, disbelieve, reject. Example: the volleyball teams had a game, but the referee overlooked their obvious errors, which was sad. Word kindness. Synonyms: consideration, goodness, nice, tender, grace, warmth. Example: in all things be kind. Kindness to self and others is always a very good attribute for a person to have. Antonyms: animosity, hatred, intolerance, unkind. Example: hatred is a very powerful and frightening emotion to have. It causes a lot of problems among people. Word long. Lengthy, expanse, extendable, tall, spread out, protracted. That was a very long way to go to simply drive around the block. Antonyms: short, small, low, abbreviated, abridged. Example: you can take the shortcut and simply go through the lane. Word many. Synonyms: a lot of, countless, heaps, loads, numerous. Example: there are numerous forms of handwriting, and as long as they are legible and the spelling and grammar are correct, there's no problem with any of them. Antonyms: few, scarce, hardly any. Example: there are few fonts that have the same letter A as we use in our Australian English handwriting. Word nefarious. Synonyms: outrageous, shameful, abominable, perverse. Example: the actions of those adolescents when they bullied the new students caused them to be reported to the principal and their parents as being nefarious. Antonyms: delightful, good, kind, pleasing. Example: the new students were checked out for their safety and well-being by the kind peer support leaders. Word nowadays. These days, at this time, at the present, today. Example: everyone seems to be on social media nowadays, which is a pity because there are more accurate ways of finding out the truth about anything. Antonyms: late, old, formerly, previously, prior to. Example: prior to social media, there were more accurate ways of finding out the truth about anything. Word obey. Synonyms: do as you're told, carry out orders, fulfill, observe, submit. Example: parents expect their children to obey them, especially when they are young. Antonyms: disobey, decline, disregard. Sorry, I've written that twice. Example: given the choice, some adolescents are likely to disregard common sense and disobey the rules of society, common sense, and disobey the rules of society. Word obfuscation. Synonyms: bewilderment, puzzlement, perplexity. Example: he didn't know the correct answer and he was determined they wouldn't find that out, so he was obfuscating in the hope that their hints would help him figure it out. Antonyms: state clearly, leave nothing in doubt. Example: he knew the correct answer and he was determined he would leave nothing in doubt. Word part. Synonyms: bit, portion, fraction, a bit of, divide, move away, leave. Example: I tell you what, let's divide this and you can have the larger part since you did most of the work. Antonyms: whole, entirety, total, unity. Example: I tell you what, since you did most of the work, you can have it all in its entirety. Word quit. Synonym: leave, exit, resign, vacate, abandon. Example: I've had enough of this place, so I'm going to quit. Antonyms: pursue, allow, begin, continue. Example: I've had enough of this nonsense, so I'm going to continue to pursue it until I know the truth. Word reasonable. Synonyms: acceptable, okay, fair enough, agreeable, sensible. Example: it's reasonable to assume that the food is all okay considering it's fresh. Antonyms: biased, unacceptable, unsound, unreasonable. Example: it's unreasonable to assume that the food is all okay because it's very old and has been out of the fridge for a long time. Word something or other. Synonyms, for example, such as a bit like this. Example: I can't really put it into words, so I'm just going to tell you it's something or other and you'll have to wait and find out for yourself. Antonyms: well known, fully explained. Example: I'm just going to tell you about this so it's fully explained and you understand it completely. Stubborn. Synonyms: obstinate, determined, dig your heels in, headstrong. Example: there's a saying that a person can be as stubborn as a mule. This means they're determined not to give in to whatever it is they're concerned with. Antonyms: flexible, submissive, surrendering. Example: he's not stubborn like his sister, but he's just as much a problem because he gives in and is submissive all the time. Word terrific. Synonyms: fantastic, great, super, superb, huge, tremendous. Example: that is a terrific discovery, well done. Antonyms: insignificant, unimportant, inferior. Example: that is unimportant, as has been shown previously to be irrelevant. Word upset. Synonyms: tip over, make unhappy, cause a problem, disrupt, dismay, overturn. Example: he was upset when his mother left him alone for the first time. Antonyms: calm, untroubled, joyful. Example: when the school bell rang at the end of his first day, he was calm and happy as he saw his mother waiting at the school gate. Word vehicle. Synonyms: car, bus, truck, automobile, a way of. Example, those vehicles belong on the road or in a car park. Antonyms, so just have no vehicle. There are no vehicles available, so make your own way by walking or running down it. Word is wait. Synonyms, stand by, hold back, bide one's time, delay, stay. Example, the students waited for their results. I'll bide my time until I hear the verdict. Antonyms, hasten, hurry, advance, fast track. He hastened to catch the train as it was about to leave. Word, xenophobia. Synonyms, prejudice, intolerance, bigotry, racism. Example, he displayed a certain amount of xenophobia when he criticised the protest group. In a democracy, intolerance is not acceptable at any level. Antonyms, fair, impartial, patient, tolerant, unprejudiced. Example, a tolerant society makes life acceptable for all people, no matter their skin colour, their religious belief, or their intellectual ability. It is a fair society. Word, yes. Synonyms, okay, all right, very well, of course, certainly, absolutely, agreed. Example, okay, let's do that. Yes, I absolutely agree. Antonyms, disagree, no, not. Example, no, I'm sorry, but I do not agree with that at all. Word, zigzag. Synonyms, winding, wiggly, squiggly. Absolutely agreed. Examples of usage. Zigzag stitching on a sewing machine is a good way of preventing the unravelling of fabric. He zigzagged across the road between the traffic to avoid using the pedestrian crossing. There were squiggly lines because she didn't use a ruler to make it straight. Antonyms, direct, straight, even, level. Examples, the margin was a straight line because she used the ruler. In our next video, you'll be learning more vocabulary to help to achieve your goal of IELTS level 6+. Please continue to watch the next videos where you'll learn more conversational English and extend your knowledge and skills in Australian English, reading, speaking, listening, writing and understanding. And can I ask you, if this content has been helpful, would you please subscribe to this channel? Many thanks, and hope you get to Australia one day.